long count calendar. It's a calendar that extends through 5,125 years, and the current cycle of this calendar comes to an end at exactly 11:11 in the morning, GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, on the 21st of December 2012. And it could well be that it's just like the 31st of December in a normal year. We go from 31st of December, we have big celebrations, we welcome in the new year, we look forward to new challenges, new opportunities, and life goes on. And it may well be that the 21st of December 2012 is a little different from that. But I don't think so. I think that there is something much more significant occurring here, not just because it's the end of a Mayan calendar long count, it's also the end of a 25,920 year precessionary cycle. And we're already starting to see some very, very significant changes occur. I would think the primary event that kicked off this current period was, without shadow of doubt, 9/11. And I think that more and more people are beginning to become aware that the full truth of what occurred on 9/11 has yet to be told. There are some very, very significant aspects about 9/11 which should cause any serious thinker to reflect upon the physical events versus the official account. 4 planes apparently disintegrated, leaving almost zero in terms of wreckage. And of course, also for the first time in history, fire caused by allegedly the plane crashes led to 2 steel-structured buildings collapsing. Not just collapsing, but collapsing, one in some 45 minutes after the impact, the other one just over an hour after the impact. But the way in which they collapsed into their own footprint, and they turned to dust. Those buildings disintegrated. There is no explanation for these physical events. And of course, World Trade Center 7 collapsed at 5:20 in the afternoon, and that was an event that the 9/11 Commission didn't even touch upon. So what's happening is, in this period, this first decade of the 21st century, is the media manipulation has upped a gear. And what we see with things like the crash in the housing market, which started in the US and is now percolating through the rest of the world, we're seeing the credit crunch, we're seeing the dollar basically going into the toilet, we're seeing oil prices reach outrageous levels. All of this is being deliberately manipulated to effectively keep people in fear. So, we have this manipulation that occurred with the oil crisis in 1973. Kissinger decided to up the game. He created a food crisis which led to the family farmer in the US effectively being wiped out. Today, the agribusiness, effectively runs 85% of all farming in the US. So today, here we are in mid-2008. We have a manipulated oil crisis. And we also have a manipulated food crisis. The agenda with this food crisis is to introduce genetically modified foods. It's follow the money. The interconnectivity of these things is there. You do have to look for it, but it's actually there in plain sight. And these guys work on the basis that the vast majority of people don't have the time, even if they have the interest, to actually research this material. But what is happening is the children, the young people, they're not eating healthy diet. They're eating junk food that is devoid of nutrition, it's devoid of minerals, it's devoid of the basic vitamins. So they're effectively eating cardboard. The great tragedy is that farmers will not even feed their animals the food that is being served up in the supermarkets, as processed packaged foods, because guess what, it makes their animals sick. And it's a farmer's livestock. So, this stuff that, we won't feed to the animals, we're quite happy to put on the shelves of supermarkets, which is then sold in the shop. We have an opportunity here to resist the attack by those who want to keep humanity in perpetual slavery. That slavery is today financial slavery. You know, when we think of slavery, you know, perhaps we think of, you know, what occurred in the southern states, or you know, perhaps what occurred in Roman times. But it's not that kind of slavery. It's slavery where people have no freedom. It's slavery where people wake up and the only thing that they're able to do is basically take breakfast, then go out, work 8, 10, 15 hours a day, simply just to provide sufficient income to provide the basic needs for their family, i.e. food and shelter. Now, with 2012 on the horizon, there is a growing community of people that are becoming increasingly aware of a change in their own and the wider consciousness. And these people are coming together. You know, these people are finding each other. So they are becoming communities. You know, we are tapping in, if you like, to a wider collective consciousness. There are a group of people who want to do everything they possibly can to stop that evolutionary process. These are the people who believe that they are the rightful rulers of a global fiefdom. And they believe that this has been their fiefdom for, you know, at least 5,500 years, and they don't want to have any challenges to that rule. But something is giving, something that they are losing control of. And how it's going to play out is anybody's guess. There's no question. The current version of the one world government, i.e. effectively US-controlled United Nations, is not a sustainable model. Few people would argue that ultimately, with the right intention, with the right motivation, bringing different cultures and communities together to tap in to each individual's and each community's expertise and skills is the way forward. That small group of people who currently believe that they are the rightful rulers of a global fiefdom, in my opinion, know that they are coming to the end of that period, and they're running scared. The future is absolutely in our hands. That script is still being written, you know, and we have an opportunity to contribute to that script, and I absolutely and fundamentally believe that, you know, every thought, every action is going to play some part in actually creating the reality beyond December 21st, 2012.
2012? We're already in it.